Hello, Jeff Sharples.
Hello, Ian Bagg, Lord Bagg. Was it yesterday that we had breakfast together?
Oh,
Was that
man,
yesterday?
that
Day
was
before.
day before. Day
Yeah,
before we had French toast.
we did.
Oh man.
Hey, we didn't just have any French toast either.
It was good.
Isn't that French toast it tastes like more. Like you're not just going up and having French toast once.
I'm
It's
gonna,
a,
yeah.
yeah,
That's why guys play in Montreal for the French toast.
exactly. So, we can tell everybody I saw you twice, both times walking down the street in LA this week. So
Here's what's going. To let everybody know, we're just doing a quick one today. We have Marco Sturm coming in tomorrow, a head coach of the Ontario Reign. He played for Boston. He played for Los Angeles. I think he played for San Jose as well.
yes, sir.
Yes. He's coming in as a guest tomorrow. So we're gonna have a second half of this show tomorrow. This is the beginning. This is our talking about breakfast in Los Angeles episode.
You had to blurt it out. We couldn't even have a conversation. You just panicked and threw it out there.
Yeah.
So we had French toast. So Ian
I was going to San Antonio. So from the parking lot, I walked by Jeff's hotel and he's stuck in there because they're saying, we want you to fly, but we don't want you to fly. They're saying you can fly, but you're not quite good enough. And
yeah,
on the bench again.
Yeah, that's right. In the press box. So I had to chuckle. I was outside. Here comes Ian walking down the street. So we had a conversation. I walked him to the corner and then sent him across the most dangerous intersection in Los Angeles at Century and Sepulveda.
That intersection.
But then he made it back and we had breakfast. So a good chat. Yeah.
The best part was you judged me about what I was wearing. You're like, weren't you wearing this when you left? And I said, you're wearing the exact same thing as well. You're like, oh yeah. Right.
That's right. It's like, I don't really have anything for you. But hey,
I wouldn't notice.
You know what? We were talking about French toast and breakfast at the hotel was unbelievable. And so Ian and I had breakfast Sunday morning. On Saturday night, I went to an American League game.
Right.
And I saw the Abbotsford Canucks play against the Ontario Reign. And of course, the Abbotsford Canucks should be a good giveaway. Vancouver's farm team against Ontario, California, which is the Kings farm team, which about what is that 60 miles?
60 miles.
Yeah, straight.
And it takes you about the same amount of time to get from Vancouver to Abbotsford as from Los Angeles to Ontario. It's just horrible traffic.
Yeah, we left. Michael came and picked me up. Michael Chason, who is now an agent, part of Pat Brisson's team at CAA, big operation down there in LA. Michael came and got me, and the puck drop was 7, and he says, "I'll pick you up at 4." So we drove in Los Angeles traffic for 2 hours to get out there. Ontario has got a beautiful building. It's about, I would say, 9 or 10,000 seats. And they came out and Abbotsford loved Abbotsford's unis too. Kind of throwback colors. Yeah, good. But Abbotsford got off to a 2-0 lead, and the game ended up 8-2 for Ontario. They came storming back.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's not just their National Hockey League team that blows leads. It's also their minor league.
Well, I'll give them a break because they won, I think, in overtime or won the next night in Bakersfield. But anyways, it was good to see the kids that are part of the Canuck organization and the Kings organization. They got some really good veterans too, but some good kids on the farm.
Who are the veterans that were there? Who are the veterans that were playing that night?
Well, Nate Thompson, right? Nate Thompson's got over 800 games in the NHL. He's playing right now down with Ontario. He signed with them. Then you've got TJ Tynan, who's been the MVP of the American League the last 2 years. He's unbelievable. I want to talk about him a little bit tomorrow with Marco.
We want to talk. I'd like to know how a guy like that doesn't get a shot.
I watched him all night. And Michael, who coached in the league the last 2 years, watched him every night because that Pacific Division, they play each other all the time. This kid is unbelievable. He's not the biggest guy, but his motor never stops. He's a really good skater, unbelievable with the puck, great shot. He was in Colorado's organization. So we'll ask Marco about TJ Tynan tomorrow. Really liked him. Thompson played a good game. I really was impressed with some of LA's or Ontario's young defense. Things are looking pretty good for the Kings organization. This young kid who played a little bit last year named Bjornfoot scored a really, really nice goal. They got this other kid, big right-handed shot named Grands, and another, I think Spence. And Spence got some games up. Probably missing a few guys, but Ontario looked good. And then with the Canucks, they had Delia, right? The kid that played goal last year in Chicago for a bit. Noel Juleson, who they just called up, has kind of been up and down in the league. And Will Lannon. I want to say Craig because I was drafted the same year as his dad, Craig Will Lannon, but it's not. It's forget his name. But so they had some veteran guys. Yeah.
Nice.
But Vancouver's got some kids down on the farm that look pretty good. So we'll see. There wasn't their night that night, but anyways, Ontario looks like they're going to have one of the better teams in the American League this year.
One of the questions I'm pretty sure everybody at home wants to ask you is, what snacks did you have?
Okay, we had good snacks, very affordable. So we went out. This is kind of the highlight of the drive. So Michael wanted to go to Starbucks. So I'm like, okay, I don't really want to have a coffee at 6:15 at night. So right. I'm like, hey, you guys got any decaf coffee? And before you judge me, that's okay. You can judge me all you want. I do drink decaf.
Elderly gentleman.
Yeah, that's right. You don't get to look like this by just drinking regular coffee. And so anyways, the kid says, we don't have any, but let me check. And he comes back and goes,
let me check.
We stopped making decaf at 11 a.m. I'm like, what?
Everybody's prepared for work by then.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I couldn't.
It should be just laughed. To make decaf is 11 a.m.
Yeah,
right?
It should be a rule.
Yeah.
We can't have it before then. But anyways, we had a laugh at that.
What'd you have the rink though? I want to know what you had.
The rink. Okay. So they had they had sandwich shops at the rink. They had chicken fingers. So the chicken finger and fries basket. And I thought Michael always ate healthy. He must have been really hungry. I said, what do you want, Michael? It's on me. So he said, off the chicken fingers and fries. So I'm like, oh, I'll have that too.
I like it.
Yeah, $14. Good deal. Because
together?
For one. Yeah, separate. But you couldn't buy a piece of chicken at T-Mobile in Vegas for $14. So I thought it was pretty good. Lots of families at the game. And the American League, I mean, it's a little scrambly, right? It's first game of the year, but pretty good pace and quite physical.
What kind of music did they play there?
80s. So they played, they had it all going. The music was awesome. Just really all upbeat all the time. Thumping. And, those are your people out in the Inland Empire. For people who don't know, Ontario, Riverside, San Bernardino, that's the Inland Empire, right? The IE. Those are your peeps out there, Ian. They love you too. Lots of kids, lots of fun, and good time. So if you're in California, Southern California, it's a bit of a hike to get over there, but Ontario, beautiful building and a nice area.
I'll be honest with you. If you're in Southern California and you're on a trip, chances are you're going to be going to Disneyland. So why not spin? You're going to be around that area. Why not spin down to Ontario and see a game if you can see it? It's worth it because it's not that far from Anaheim, Brea area. I-before-E, unless you're in Irvine.
Right. If you're all the way down Irvine, it's a little bit more of a hike. But that's right. I mean, from Disneyland to Ontario, I don't know. What do you think? 45 minutes, maybe an hour?
40 minutes.
In traffic?
Because you're going to be going north with a little bit of east. So, yeah.
Yeah. The Inland Empire, the IE.
We are the home of the AHL here on Enjoying Orange Slices.
Well, we're going to go see some games this year down there. Michael's got to go out and see some of his the clients. So that's I guess we could talk about that for a minute or two. So Michael has been scouting. We'll have to have Michael on one day. He can explain it better than me. But so Michael was scouting for the Sharks organization, college for a few years, and then he was on the bench with the Barracuda in the AHL. So, but now he's an agent. So, you know, every step of the way, it's kind of a little bit of a tweak into what he's doing. Like, you know, he's there. CAA is the group he works with. I think they had 6 kids in the game.
Right.
So, you know, you want to watch the game. You're looking for guys that stand out, but you got to be looking for when your kids are on the ice to kind of, you know, zero in on them, see what they're doing. So
yeah,
we'll
you got to
get him on.
You got to be able to see what they're doing, and you also got to be able to see what you can push to the teams to go, hey, this is why you want this guy. So that's your job there. You're selling, you're taking care of the client, but you're also on the sell. It's a different side to being a scout where you're on the buy. A lot more power on that side. You got to have a lot more finesse and have people like you more as an agent. And I think he's a great person for that, because I don't know anybody that, you know, doesn't like to talk to Michael. So, you know,
no, he's a good guy. And, you know, you bring up a good point. Like, so we went and watched, what was that, Saturday night. And so then Sunday or Monday, the Canucks got an injury. Tucker Pullman went down, and
head injury.
One of the kids that they have, actually, it's tough to say anyone played well in an A2 loss, but one of the kids that they do represent was very noticeable. I thought he did some good things, and young guy, but they called up Juleson, who they don't represent, but it's kind of an interesting dynamic, because when they call someone up, what does the agent do? Go, hey, call the GM and go, we see you called this guy up. Is there something that you see with our guy why you didn't call him up? Maybe
I don't know if you do that. I think you never.
I don't know.
I don't know if you want to be bothering them like that. But yeah, you got to be a little bit of a squeaky wheel, but at the same time, you got to make sure those guys always want to take your call. Not like, oh fuck, Michael's on the call. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and it's a kind of an interesting thing, because you are kind of a keeper, right? In a sense of these young people. And a couple of weeks ago, when they sent everybody down, the agents' phones are ringing off the hook, right? Because people think they're getting screwed over, or they don't agree with the decision. So anyways, we talked quite a bit about this, but I'm if you're down in Lower Mainland, you know, we got a lot of our friends at home. Get out there and watch Abbotsford. They got some good kids. They got this one kid. He's not a kid. He's 30 now, but they're tough guy. I can't remember, number 18. Vincent's his first name. I don't really know how to say his last name.
Vincent, punch you in the head.
Hey, Michael told me, he says, when this guy hits people, he hurts them. I haven't seen anybody run around and he's 6'1" or 6'2", 235 pounds. He's like a running back or a linebacker. You should see him go. And I was like, oh my God. They all know when he's on the ice, guaranteed. But you know, they had some good young players. Obviously, Vincent's there to keep the flies away from their young guys. But yeah, go down, watch. And if you the Pacific Division now, Seattle's going to be in Palm Springs. So anyone that gets down there, Ontario is just over the Banning Pass. So Vegas has got the Canadian Silver Knights.
A lot of Canadian, West Coast Canadians go down to that area, that Palm Springs. So go check out a game. Yeah, but get season tickets. They're not very expensive. You can, if you're living down there, yeah, go see a game. I think, why not see those guys before they become stars? It's kind of fun.
Yeah, there's some really good. You can see some of these guys that they're probably not quite ready to play in the show, but they're really, really good young players, and their foundation is fabulous. And I couldn't get over watching them. Of course, they won big, but I am so impressed with what Rob Blake and Luke Robitaille and Marco and everyone's doing. Tom McClellan is doing, you know, with the Kings organization, because they got off to a bumpy start. They're 2-2 up top. The minor league team looks like it's going to be really good, but more than anything, the minor league team looks like it's going to develop. Some guys are going to be ready to go in LA in the next year or two. So
yeah, should be exciting. Should be
Yeah.
exciting. Well, we're doing a quick one today. We got talked about breakfast. We talked about not changing our clothes. Let's bring up the Enjoying Orange Slices hockey pool, which is on Office Pools. We have 31 teams in it. It's run by Victor Basante. We want to thank Victor for setting that up for us. Young Vic from Terrace, British Columbia, set that us. He's from Terrace, British Columbia, but actually works with another Chase on out of that school in Toronto. That's our weird connection with all that. So he's up with the older boy teaching in Toronto. They teach in an academy. He set up the old hockey pool for us. So thank you, Victor. So here's what's going on. Here's who's in the lead. Burt Reynolds is in the league. I don't know who picked that name, but fantastic. I don't know. Let us know who it is. I just seen that. I was like, that's awesome. Meanwhile, our producer, Brian Almy, is third place already. He was in first place, but he's dropped down to third place. I'm like, that son of a bitch wants to win some oranges from us, boy. He wants to win a bag of oranges from us. And then you go all the way down to 14. There's Sharp Slices. I'm guessing that's you.
Oh, I slipped all the way to 14th. Wow.
Yeah, you're in 14. Two under you is a bag of orange slices. That's a bag of oranges. That's right, me. That's me. I'm in 2 below you, so we are knowledgeable. And then this one, number 17, CFTK 590 AM.
I love that. That name caught my eye. There's some really great names, but I really enjoyed some of those ones. CFTK, that's top shelf. Actually,
Tuck
at the end of the year,
Avenue All Stars.
Who's that? Robin?
No, Robin's Skeena bag. That's it. She's Skeena bag. She's floating down the river. Crew Top's helmet's a good one too. What else? What we got? Big Wish, Shades Baggers, Parkside Plugs is another good one too.
You didn't go to Parkside, did you? You
No.
went to E.T. Kenny?
Yeah, I went to E.T. Kenny. Best.
Then Clarence Michael.
And then Clarence Michael. Oh my God. Those are 2 good schools right there. Now one is just sitting there empty and the other one is all down and anymore. But congratulations, Burt Reynolds, hockey players, 8 Mad Pairs. He's all in there. Here's the other one. Glass of 73 Marlowe.
That one is a really good one too. I like that.
That's a good name too.
That is very good.
And let anybody that's in the pool, you can change your name at any time. So if you wanna do try to change your name to get mentioned on the show, we can do that. It's closed down for the year. We had one. We didn't do it too much. Holy shit! Talking is not my friend today. We didn't do too much promotion beforehand. We did it a week before, and we were thrilled that we got 31 of you to do it. That means that there's only 5 other people that watch this show that aren't in it right now.
You know who was not happy was Mr. Miller. Mr. Cam Miller gave me an earful this morning about not being able to get into the pool. He says,
Really?
we should have known. And I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty sure Ian brought it up 2 weeks ago. Now, we might have snuck the entry part of it in there.
I did. We brought it up, I think, a week or 2 before, and I also mentioned it a lot on social media. But I know a lot of our people aren't on social media because they say bad words and they don't want to be canceled. Sorry, Cam. Apologize.
That's okay. I told him
he loves a good pool too. I'm surprised Randolph didn't get
Well,
into.
he was over partying this weekend in Colorado. They were having a rager over at the university, so he didn't have time to get signed up. But I told Cam he's number 1 on the waiting list.
On the waiting list. If anybody gets hurt, Cam, you're in.
Hey, before we go.
By the way, I have not been chirped so much as thinking that Columbus was in the West. everybody taking me down. I realize, okay, your fella makes a mistake every so often. You guys don't have to put like people just finding a wound and opening it up and stealing my kidney.
I mean, that show was destined for the ditch. And then when you drop Columbus in there, people are like, that's the best show ever. So just go after you. You guys were awful before Columbus.
You guys
So,
that's funny.
that's pretty funny, actually. That I was laughing about it the other night. And Daryl was awesome. But I listened. Yeah, I listened to a little bit of the show the other night, and quality control, right? And I was flying over to LA to go to work, and I was sitting there laughing. Like, you can see someone's laughing in front of you. They're watching a movie or something. I'm just sitting there laughing on the airplane. People must have thought I had some kind of problem. But when Columbus came out, I laughed out loud because that was pretty funny. So I'm glad people are enjoying that.
Face was the funny part about it. Just the look of disgust. Yeah, the Sharples sneer on, and it was fantastic.
Oh no. Okay. Turning the tables. Hey.
So here's what we need from you people. We're going to put this out there because this is a short episode today. Another episode coming out tomorrow with an interview. We're going to do some merch. What would you like to see on the merch? Would you like t-shirts or would you like stickers? That's the other thing.
Who doesn't like stickers?
I know, but the people want. Whether they like a sticker or whether they like right there, it's going to be our first foray into the old merch, and we'll probably be giving that away. But I think so far we're going with stickers. Maybe Jeff and I's face on an orange, 2 oranges, not just 1 orange, just looking like the Snapple thing.
That wouldn't be very good. We'd look like SpongeBob after he came out of the water. Hey, before we wrap this up, do you have anything more to say on that? Just just let us know. Let us know what you want.
I like the way you just told me to shut up and move on.
No, because I don't want to forget about this because we're going to try and keep it under 20, which I'm sure we haven't done.
I can't wait to see Johnny Gaudreau play on the Western Conference All-Star team this year.
They're playing Vancouver tonight, so
oh my God.
He is kind of in the West, but they are in Columbus. Hey, you got to tell everybody about the little plug you got the other day. Joe Rogan. Segura and someone else plugging you.
So Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer are regulars on the Joe Rogan podcast, and they were talking about who should come into his new comedy club that's opening up. And somehow my name came up, and Tom and Ari Shafir and Bert said that I'm one of the tops for doing crowd work, and that I'm funny. So it was nice of them to shout it out, and everybody that's followed me ever since. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me be me. Mm-hmm. So shout out to Joe Rogan and the crew.
Yeah,
Switzerland.
You shout out to Joe Rogan, and I'm going to shout out to Switzerland this week. Love to all.
Love to all. See you tomorrow.